well, hello again, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. I hope that you had a wonderful Wednesday, and I'm going to start off with an update and moderators. So let me go over um, some little situations. Okay, of course, I will do the roll call momentarily. So everyone is welcome, folks. However, if you start trolling or using profanity, you will be handled by the moderator. So everyone, let's act like the adults that we are, the moderators, and they're in full force. Okay, so as long as you're not being condescending and attacking people, then you should have no issues. All right, so I got that out of the way. Now, hit that little thumb. That is the like button, and that tells YouTube that you are enjoying this content. And hey, we may trigger the YouTube algorithm, okay, and bring more folks into the fold. And I just look, we have like 90 people just subbed up to the channel. So you are definitely sharing the information, and I love it. Okay. You're coming in. So you're hitting the like button, but again, share on your social media pages. How are you doing? All right, Stacy, Blazer Bobcat, how are you? Still watching from Albany, Georgia. All right. Lord Jammer, my protector, how are you doing, dear? Yeah, wonderful Wednesday to you. Maga Tamara, I responded to your comment, love. And I know life happens and everyone's busy, and I appreciate the lives that you do make. So when you miss one, hey, I know, hey, you had things you had to do, but that's fine. Retro, how are you doing? Maga said, I've seen videos where people are saying MLK was not really for peace. His I have a dream speech was a long-winded way of saying never forgive. So he was love and peace. Like, I hope he will. Maga, there's a lot coming out, and it's going to jar a lot of people. A lot of people, the lefties are losing it. We're attacking his legacy. We are called horrible names, but the truth is the truth. So, hey, it is what it is. Retro, hope all is well. And yeah, everything's great. Good, Retro. Work is fun when you love what you do. Amen. Well, sorry, you're fine. Big Cheese, how are you? Chubbs, how you doing, dear? Glad you could make it. Lord Jammer got you. My girls, Baldwin Birds, I'm glad you made it back to Vegas safely. Dorian, how you doing, love? Where are Ollie? How you doing? Tijuana border jumper, you made it on time. So, all I can say is, hey, continue to toe the line. Love isn't always on time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my goodness. It's not in the way. Don't get me started on Toto. I love some Toto. Tube Steak, how you doing? Now, those of you who are new here, I'm always trying to go back to the past where things, we didn't have all of the issues we're having now. So I'll break out in song. I'm sorry if I hurt your ears. I am trying to save money for singing lessons. All right. Chicago Hood, hello, love. I'm glad you made it. So look at this title. Mago, well, if he meant it or not, MLK inspired me with his speech to be a better person and to look at everyone as an equal. It's unfortunate. And Maga, and it's like this. We talked about this on this channel. There was only one perfect person who ever walked this earth that crucified him. King had he was human, and he had his issues just like everyone does. So I know again, he did what he could, like some other civil rights, workers. Now we look back on a lot of things, and hey, it is what it is. If you look, MAGA, there's been good, but also there's been bad as well, as a result of the civil rights movement. So what do you do, right? So let me go back and let me say this, folks. And again, we may have a difference of opinion. That's fine. But we won't be name calling anyone. This video that I did, if you remember, I did the video on the brawl. and they're calling it a brawl, but and people, they're all over social media. And it's really sad that we as a human race, we're supposed to be higher than the animals. But when you look at a lot of the things that we're doing, I feel as though we are actually lower than the animalistic behavior. And then you have the people who justify wrongdoing, right, Maga? And that's all we can do, love. Exactly. And I'm not backtracking on the video that I did. I have no one that I need to apologize to. And again, for the people, and I've commented on some other channels. I've been called all kinds of names. I don't care. Those of you who've been here for a long time, you know, name calling, it does not bother me. I will still say I do not care what was said. Or everyone's saying, well, the white man slapped the black man. And everyone, oh, there are videos. I haven't seen that yet. So whatever, regardless of who said what, who did what, there is another way to de-escalate and handle situations. So I'm not backtracking. I stand beside and behind and in front of everything that I said. It was not right. And you can't make it right in my eyesight. So I'm going to show you an update. And Lord Jammer, in school, I had to remember and speak a paragraph of the MLK speech to the students when I was in 4th grade. Okay, good. Tina, they have a lot of historical statues taken down across this country from the left-wing lunatic. Yeah, Tina. And again, what's straight from the Libs playbook? Symbolism. Just like, I'm here at Fort Bragg. They changed the name to Fort Liberty because Bragg was a known racist. How is that improving my life? It's not. Again, it's symbolism. I don't need symbolism in my life. Lord Jammer, Roland, you in the chat are awesome. You are as well. Jammer, thank you for being here. Right, my girls? Right, and we are. So let me share this update with you. They have started to arrest the people who were attacking, and I don't know. I heard that the man that knocked the woman out cold was arrested and released. I hope not. I pray that was just rumor. But I wanted to share this update with you, and then we'll get into tonight's video.
5 have been charged so far in the brutal mob beatdown of 3 adults in downtown Cincinnati. Police releasing the names of 2 suspects who were arrested today. Others, they don't know where they are. 34-year-old Montianez Merriweather and 24-year-old Dekira Vernon.
All right. Now, this has been my experience. Names that can't be pronounced and that are spelled with all kinds of different ways. Why is it always those names involved in incidents like this? I'm asking for a friend. DJ Basco, how you doing? We're happy to get Fort Hood back. Okay, well, I never called it Fort Liberty. I even though the Biden administration changed it to Fort Liberty. No, ma'am, no, sir. So tell me what your thoughts are, folks. I'm going to play this. And again, we may all have different opinions. I stand on what I said. And this is not right. This is straight up racism. And I watched several videos on this, and other Black conservative content creators said this was racism. They agree with what I said. It's racism. And they did this because the people were white. They need to be charged with hate crimes. Watch this.
Both charged with felonious assault and aggravated rioting. Look, this was depraved and vicious. Anyone who watched this hideous video would agree. Of course, I warn you, it's graphic. This is animalistic. I mean, animals don't do this to each other. It didn't stop there. They stomped all over both of those men, and then one of the thugs smashed a woman to the ground. She fell flat on the pavement, unconscious.
Oh, 1 minute. 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 1 minute
can hear people laughing in the background and stuff.
Yeah, this is funny. These are the same idiots that I see fighting. These are the people. They do it in the schools. They leave the schools and they do the same thing. And from what I saw, I was watching some other videos today, and some of these people had warrants on them. So news flash, if you already have outstanding warrants, how about not get involved in other crimes? Here we go.
Some of these videos, we don't know exactly what happened before the fight. Police say some sort of verbal altercation, but by the time they arrived on the scene, obviously the fight was over. People were unconscious.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
So anyway, again, I just wanted to go. I told you that we would keep updated. Yes, this is what I see. And when I see things like this, it just, it flashes in my head because I see it. Hey, go to any public school in America, you see the same thing. And so, again, but we're the teachers, we're the ones creating the pipeline to the prison. Now, someone with an honest face, there are how many of you in here? About 20. Does it look like do you think I'm creating a pipeline from the school to the prison? Because these are the same people. They did the same thing in school. They're still doing the same thing. Chubbs, hate to see this in our country. What happened to love and grace? Exactly. And again, so what? This is what I tell students. So what someone says something to you or steps on your shoe? You have a hair trigger. And like I tell students, a lot of people are already miserable. And you see, white people are starting to segregate. We're going to have a race war, guys. People are not putting up with this crap. And I don't blame them. If you look at, and again, I don't care what I'm called. Who cares? I was not raised to hate. So guess what? I will not. And I know people don't like a lot of the things that I say, but mine, when I talk, it's from the lens of an educator. And I teach people of all races. And I can't, say, oh, well, this group, oh, wait a minute, there we go. Okay, I have it. Yeah, this group, they deserve to be beaten. Because if you look at, I don't know how many of you are on social media as much as I am. Bress Polani, I don't know what you're saying because you're not making complete sentences. If you have a question, type it and I'll try to read it. Just be respectful, okay? All right, so hit that like button, folks. And I've shared Vince Ellison with several of you. And this guy has been talking about Dr. King, the MLK, forever. And it's inconvenient and it hurts because it's totally different from what we've been taught. Dorian, he's a disgrace. Yes. Anyone that would send that man money, they need to have their head examined. Go to the head shrinker. So anyway, this happened. Trump actually removed the bust of MLK June 17th. Oh my God. And you probably, if you've heard about this, type a 1 in the comment section. We told you this man is racist. So it can't be about anything else but race. Oh my God. My girl, it doesn't hurt me one bit. I knew decades ago something was wrong. Oh, my girls. Okay. Lord Jam. Okay. Yep. So this guy right here, he don't care. You know him. He will tell the truth if it hurts. How you doing, Roseanne Hackett? Dorian, according to the FBI files, yeah, it was several women. CJ, we're glad you're here. Hit that like button. Roseanne, hit the like button. Love, share it on your social media pages. So anyway, that's what all the hoopla was about. I'm sitting here wondering if I'm unaware of my surroundings because I just thought I got MAGA, be careful. I'm telling people, just be careful and be aware. There are a lot of people, and they're still upset the Curry Queen did not win. They're having this crap, this rhetoric pumped into their tiny brains that all white people are racist. And so I'm just saying, lock and load, and you know what I mean. I was watching several videos earlier, and a lot of white people are like, okay, I'm taking my stuff with me. You know what I mean? My stuff, right? Because people that you don't even know start a fight, and they're just angry, and they're being told all white people are racist and hate you. And they're out here fighting, and they're doing the most. They're doing all of this on social media. So stay prepared, sister. Okay. So here we go. And like I said, Vince, he will tell you the truth even when it hurts. He just keeps telling it. Yes, my girls. Melting down the Dems and Lord Jammer, yes, and they're so upset. And they're this rhetoric, oh, Trump is racist, he's racist. And so they're just out here fighting white people, cursing white people. I mean, it's all over social media. And I've seen, comments, white people are like, what's wrong? Why are people, they're doing this? They're listening to that rhetoric, and it's dangerous. Oh, so let's see. And like I said, he's been blowing the whistle on Dr. King forever.
David Ellison show. I got proof that Donald Trump watches our show. He took the Martin Luther King monument out of the Oval Office. Yes, he did, y'all. We're going to talk about that today on the Vince Everett Ellison show.
And like I said, he knows people attack him too. He doesn't care. He's straight up.
Let's get this thing started. Man, I missed this, but I finally caught up to it. And when I saw it, I just thoroughly enjoyed reading the whole story. Donald Trump, and I told you I got proof that DT watches this show or somebody close to him, because Martin Luther King, because Donald Trump did what I've been asking him to do for a very, very long time, and that is to get the bust of that communist traitor, Martin Luther King Jr., out of the Oval Office. And now it's gone. Yeah, it's gone.
You heard what he called MLK, and he's been calling him that. He's a communist traitor is what he has always called him. And people attack him, and he still calls him that. He doesn't care. So listen up, folks.
And I'm going to tell you all about it in just a moment. But first, I want to talk about what has happened in the past week. Man, I had a great time at a Turning Point USA conference. It was the students' conference.
So I'll go ahead and talk to you until we get to what we want to hear. Yeah, my girls, the civil rights movement was thoroughly infiltrated by the Communist Party. There are actually black and white videos here on YouTube that I have watched, and they told about the infiltration of the communists and the Communist Party. And so, hey, Dorian, he was called a communist because he spoke out against the Vietnam War. Okay, he's just about done with what he's talking about, because I want you to hear what he has to say about MLK. Biden was so greasy, slimy, Jim Crow. Yeah, we said that quite often. All right. So he's just about done with his other commentary, but he'll have you crying, because, honey, he lays it out on MLK. He lays MLK out just like Family Guy. Hit that like button, folks, if you will. All right. The Black Panther Party was communist too. Yeah, because see, the communists, they saw the unrest in America and how Black Americans were treated, and they just, when someone sees a weakness, they find an opening. And again, there are videos here on you, black and white, and you have black people, Black Americans who started out as part of the movement, And they were telling about how what the communists were doing, and so it wasn't a secret, but that just it is what it is. That's right. Thank you, Jammer. All right, so here we go. Let's see what he's saying here, because I want you to hear what he's saying.
Brexit, black exit. Brexit was British exit. Brexit is black exit.
Remember, I think I've already shared some videos with you on the Black Americans that are leaving, abandoning the Democratic Party, and we hope and pray that that continues, so that they will continue to falter, they will continue to fail, and maybe one day be pretty much non-existent. That's my wish, my prayer. Where are we? Okay, so yeah, he's just about done. So if you will, tell me what your thoughts are, what you have been taught about Dr. King. We were all taught, of course, about the civil rights movement and Rosa Parks. And actually, there was another young lady who refused to stand, but she was a teenager. Rosa Parks was older. She was married. She was a professional. She had a good standing in the community. So yeah. All right, let me get to what he's saying. Now he's there with Charlie Kirk. So, but anyway, yeah, my girls. Dr. King was a communist long before the Vietnam War. His speeches were written by Jewish communists. Yeah, and I've heard that too, my girls. So yeah. Where are we here, Miss Rowland? I can't with this man. I know, Tina, and I do too. And again, it wasn't perfect. And it hurts because it goes against everything that we were taught. I was taught that MLK wanted peace and everyone to be judged by their character and not. Yeah, so I mean, and it's like this: you throw the baby out with the bathwater, and so there was good and bad, right? So, and I understand because it goes totally against what we've all been taught. Emmett Till is what sparked the civil rights movement. Okay, good. My girls. Okay, so my girls knows about this. My girl says he preached nothing but a socialist gospel based on materialism and greed. Okay, all right. Well, what do you all think about that? Okay, let me get to. I got to get to where he actually starts talking about Dr. King. I had to rush in from work, and okay, here we go. I didn't have time to get to the right space in the video. Sorry for being unprepared, but I just got in from work, folks. All right. So I think he's getting ready to get into it now. So this man is the truth. I mean, it hurts, but we need to hear it.
I met this gentleman. We had to sit down and had a conversation. And at the end, I asked him, what did he do? He said, I'm from the Bulgarian parliament. Believe that much of what we've done here and what is happening.
Roseanne, I had no clue. Wow. Always heard. Yeah, Roseanne, you know how the history books are, right? And he, and he was a martyr, so all right, here, now we're getting to the point. This is where I need to be. Again, forgive me for not being prepared. When I come in from work, sometimes I don't always have time, but I do want to jump on and discuss different topics. Okay, here we go.
To be in race war. And I believe that much of what we've done here and what is happening on the internet now and the podcasts that are coming after what I've written has a lot to do with what Donald Trump has just done in the Oval Office. And that is removing the bust of Martin Luther King Jr.
All right, tell me what your thoughts are, folks, as I get rid of the commercial. Allie, like all of us, my thoughts are he was not perfect. We all have the propensity for good as well as bad. So, hey, he was the same.
From the Oval Office. Charlie Kirk and I got into some trouble. Yeah, this was about a year and a half ago on King's birthday when he had me come on his show and talk about the real MLK. And here's the thing, the people didn't get mad. Well, the people didn't refute what I said. Nobody said Vince Ellison is lying. Nobody said Vince Ellison is wrong. They got mad at me for saying it. Isn't that something? Everybody said, you don't want to say you're trying to destroy Martin Luther King Jr. legacy. What legacy? Legacy of hoe chasing? Being a communist? Being a traitor? You know what I said? I said, if you wanted Martin Luther King Jr. to march from New York to California, you didn't have to give me any money. Just he'd have made it on just hoes and liquor alone. And I bet you Donald Trump has seen those new King files, and when he read them, he said, man, get that bust out of here. I bet he read or listened to my podcast, maybe.
MAGA, I will say, towards the end of Malcolm X's life, and I think MAGA, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X twice, and he has some serious trauma, but I think towards the end of his life, he was ready to start, working with more than just Black people, because he started realizing, hey, the Nation of Islam, his brethren, of course, they're the ones who took him out, but because they pretty much turned on him, he became so popular. Hey, envy and jealousy. How you doing, Gail? Chubbs, we all fall short. That's why Jesus died on the cross. So when we fall short and sin, we can pray for forgiveness. Amen to that. So I guess what I said, it hurts, but hey, we all have good and bad, right? All right.
He read some of my books and said, get that bust out of there, because his first administration, he kept it in there. Now, why did he move it? So I'm going to read you the story for USA Today. And this is kind of an old story. This was, this story was, what's this, June 17th, 2025. So that's about a month ago. So I was late to the game, man. I saw something on Facebook. I said, they lying. And as I went to check it out and I found this, I said, well, they telling the truth. Isn't that something? So this is the title of the story. It says, Martin Luther King Jr. for Winston Churchill. Trump changes up Oval Office decor. It starts by saying President Barack Obama moved the Martin Luther King Jr. bust into the Oval Office in 2009. Trump kept it during his first term, but now it's gone. All right. I ain't going to read too much of this. I'm going to give you guys the gist of it, what USA Today says about it. It says, a bronze bust of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. placed in the Oval Office by former President Barack Hussein. He didn't put Hussein in that. But I said Barack Hussein Obama.
And remember, that's straight from the Democrats' playbook. It's all about symbolism. Barack Obama put the bust in there in the Oval Office, of course, to try and keep Black Americans oohing and ahhing over him. Symbolism, 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 no substance. How you doing, Andrew? Yes, Farrakhan. You said Farrakhan killed Malcolm X, and the Nation of Islam, and I think because there were a lot of Black Americans starting to follow them, and I think that went down the way it did because that's not a Christian religion. If that's your religion, fine, but I think the way that went down, there's no way I could follow that. No symbolism, right? Everything is symbolism. No substance. My girls, he didn't do any good if you really want facts and truth. Listen to each Vince. Oh, my girls. Yes, he breaks it down. Here we go.
Has been moved out. The bust of the famed civil rights leader now sits in President Donald Trump's private dining room, steps away from the Oval Office, a White House official confirmed to USA Today. Should be in the garbage can. In a room where he holds private meetings and lunches with senior staff and as a part of various changes. Says during Trump's first term in office, the bust of the civil rights leader, first installed by Obama in 2009, held a prominent place in the Oval Office. Also,
you got that right, Jammer. Yeah, they unalived him because he exposed Elijah Muhammad, and he was a fraud. Exactly. So yeah.
Turning of the Oval Office, a bust of Winston Churchill. Winston did some good, man. Winston held out against the Nazis when they had taken France and all the rest of Europe, and it was just Winston and Hitler. And Hitler told them to surrender. Winston said, "No, y'all need to watch that movie, The Darkest Hour." Winston Churchill said, "We'll fight."
Yeah. So those that don't know, once he removed Dr. King, he put the bust of Winston Churchill in there. So what do you think all of the libtards had to say about that? The leftist loonies. Allie, Roland, I'm very hurt that the father of our race is being beaten down and chastised. And never before has any firework been hurled in his memory. I'm sure you all. Oh yeah, Allie Cat. I'm just saying, Allie. Yeah, we're not we don't want him beaten down. We're just showing, hey, this was another part of it. And now with those FBI files being released, and Allie, I think what's this? I think are they going to release them next year? So yeah, I'm just sharing, and it's, it hurts. I'm with you. I'm with MAGA because this goes against everything we've been taught, right? So I'm not bashing him. I'm telling you what, some things that are coming out, some things that are going to come out. And their videos here on YouTube, like I said, you can see actual civil rights. All black and white clips. Lord Jammer, I'm with you. Allie, I'm with both of you. It hurts. Yeah, it does. Dorian, you said he knew this already. Yeah, some people know already. And MAGA tomorrow is probably crying because she's hurt. We're all hurt. I'm just being real.
Fight them on the beaches. We'll fight them in the hills. We'll fight them on the. We'll fight them everywhere. We will never surrender. Trump brought back the bust of the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom by Sir Jacob Epstein in Oval Office on January 20th, his first day as president. Trump was fulfilling a promise he made after his election and returning the Churchill bust to the place it was prominently displayed during his first term, according to America's National Churchill Museum. So I've been telling people about King. I started writing about him in my first book, The Iron Triangle. Book Authority gave Iron Triangle number 61 on the greatest political books ever written in the history of the world. That's right. And in it, I talked about King. I talked about how America right now seems to be celebrating him. But what are you celebrating?
All right. What are your thoughts? And I know it hurt. I know what you're saying. Allie said Farrakhan. Now that's a total turnaround. Okay. Yes, it is. Here we go.
God's failure. Or is he a success?
All right. So some people are saying Dr. King was a failure. Some people say he was a success. Tell me in the comment section what your thoughts are. And someone type in the comment section when Trump removed the bust, what do you think the libs said the reason was? Take a guess. MAGA, yes, it hurt. Yes, it is. Put no faith in man, put your faith in God, because we humans are not perfect. We will let you down. Yes, Chubbs. Facts. Thank you, Alley Cat. Yeah. We told you he was racist. But we were all conditioned to believe the narrative, right? That had been created about Dr. King. And we all know the history books, they don't always tell the truth. We know that. But they called them racist. The legacy media, the black talking heads, the puppets, the black shields, you know what they said. And he did, Andrew. That's what I'm saying. Like I was telling Ali and Jammer and Maga, you have to take the good with the bad, right? He was trying to make a better way. He had his faults. I have my faults. Allie has her faults. So I mean, that's all of us, right? Yes, Allie, I believe that. But the black shields and puppets are saying that Trump doing this, and he took some pictures and things off some websites of Jackie Robinson. They were like they're calling it erasure and anti-black, right? Because again, all it takes for them is symbolism. You don't have to give them anything. Just show some symbols, like Nancy Pelosi putting on the kente cloth. Maga told my kids to do something for someone else, something they don't benefit from every day. Okay. Now I see my son doing kind things all the time for people, even if it's something small. It's beautiful. And you know what, Maga, I'm glad you brought that up. So you take the good that you've learned from someone and you use it. The bad, what I say, that's between them and their creator. But you take the good that someone did. So that, Maga, there is nothing wrong with that. I agree. My girls, there are a lot of videos out there that show that many people did not support MLK's movement. Yeah, my girls, yeah. And like I said, by that time, the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers, there was a lot going on. I will say this, if MLK and Malcolm lived, the Black community in America would be a better place. Boom. I'm not going to argue with that, Lord Jammer. I will not argue with that statement. I don't think they would be where they are, had MLK and Malcolm X lived. They've both turned over in their graves. But Martin had like a worldview. I don't know. My girls, that's a good, well, I don't know. Malcolm, before he was unalived, he was making a turnaround because remember, he'd been taught that white people were the devil and da-da-da-da-da-da. After he made his pilgrimage to Mecca, he came back. And that's what I was explaining to Maga earlier. And he was willing to work with other people. He didn't look at all white people as being racist. He really changed once he made his pilgrimage. Dr. King, it seems like he was changing when he was unalived. What was that quote he made? It seems like I've taken my people into a burning building or something of that nature. I can't think of it right now. No, that is not true at all. There were many Black people who were making it without the foolishness that King brought to the Black communities. Yeah, my girl, if you look statistically speaking, my girls, Blacks, if you follow Dr. Thomas Sowell the way I do, Black Americans were already improving. And you had we were doing better. You had more Black businesses. So if you read Dr. Sowell, what you're saying, my girls, is true. My girl, yeah. So things change. We thought for the better, but then look at the education, look at the crime-ridden communities. Because I mean, back in their days, people were poor, but they weren't doing the things that they're doing now. Malcolm was made to be confused, lies and games, and his head turned for about a minute, but he saw the fact. Yes, Allie. Once he made his pilgrimage, he was like, "Whoa." So-called Black leaders, a joke. Yes, Andrew, you're right. 1900, a Black man by the name of Otis made the wiring that we use in everything, but he invented it for the internal pacemaker. Thank you for that, Maga Tamara. And Obama came in and he didn't do anything for black people, and we still look up to him. Yeah, he's still Jesus to some people. Oh my God, CJ, I'd like to see a bust of Jesse Owens because that man, yes, CJ. Oh yeah, he took it to Hitler. Hitler was beside himself. My girl, exactly. There was no welfare. Black men were in the home trying to keep their families together. Yes, my girl. If we could, Lyndon Baines Johnson with that war on poverty. Oh my God. Yeah, like I said, Thomas Sowell talks about that. How Black Americans were doing better. They had more moral character. Everything was better. Thank you, Maga. All right, here we go.
You celebrate things that are successful. So in the eyes of the political left and the Democratic Party, King was a stone cold success. And every black minister that they have in the Democratic Party now, they want to make sure that he is a replica of Martin Luther King. They want to make sure that he's a drunk, he's a hoe chaser, he's a Marxist, he's an anti-Christian bigot, and he's a traitor to America.
All right, now what do you think about what he just said there? Let me see your comments. Let me see. Yeah, Dorian, once he went to prison, he did become a better person. Very great and interesting conversation we're having right now. A lot of great. Yeah, Lord Jama, this is what I like. Even though we have to work through the pain sometimes, we're still having intelligent conversations. I love it, Lord Jammer.
And all of these guys that hold up the mantle of King are exactly that. From Jesse Jackson now to Jamal Bryant, to Al Sharpton, to all of these ghetto poverty pimps whose primary job is keep black people down and begging the government for everything that it gets and want to take whites down with it.
Now, everything he just said there, now those were facts. That is the goal of the Democratic Party, to keep you dependent on the government, to keep you in poverty. I agree with all of those, everything he just said.
And illegals and everybody else they can grab. They can't, they haven't had any luck getting the Indian population and getting the Jewish population and getting the Asian population. Y'all stay where y'all at. Don't deal with these Negroes. Stay away from them. Take my word for it. If these jokers come knocking at your door, you padlock it. You don't want to have nothing to do with the Democratic Party and make that quadruply 100% when it comes down to a black Democrat. And I know what people think. They try to compare conservatives to people like, Uncle Ruckus and all of these really extreme type of boot-licking type of Republicans or whoever they are. None of us are like that.
My girls, you're right, because Uncle Sam became the father. And we know, my girls, type it in the comment section. How has that worked out as Uncle Sam as the father? Tell me how that's worked out. You're right, my girls. My girls, she's telling the truth.
There are some out there like that. There are some out there like that. There are some out there like that. And they are just, they're pitiful. But the rank and file, black conservative, as I told you last week, I worked in the penitentiary 5 years. Never saw one of them in jail. Not one.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Oh, we are having a Sergeant King, the government. And they're doing a rotten job.
If you want to hire somebody and you got the choice to hire a black conservative that says, I'm going to come up early, I'm going to leave late, I'm going to be the best employee that you have, I'm going to do my job better than anyone here, and I'm going to earn everything I get, and you're going to be glad you hired me. Or you're going to hire a black Democrat that walks in and say, if I show up late, you better not say nothing. If I leave early, you better not say nothing. I'm going to file a lawsuit.
And this is what he's saying is true. Dr. Soul says that's why white companies sometimes are afraid to hire Black Americans, because if they try to fire them, they're afraid of a lawsuit. So that's why you hear on social media, you know, people talking crap. People are just doing whatever and getting away. There are no repercussions. No one is held accountable. Yes, Sergeant. Thank you for your service, sir. How you doing, Caesar? All right.
While I'm here, I'm gonna complain every day. I'm gonna want to go. I'm a man. I want to go to the women's bathroom, and I want to be rude, and I want to be crude, and I want to be disrespectful, and I want to come in here sagging, and I want to come in here with no etiquette, no manners. And you better say nothing to me, man. Who would you prefer to have?
Give me the conservative folks.
Every employer will tell you they prefer the conservative. And all these Democrats that tell y'all otherwise, tell you that you can go into these places of employment and walk up in there with that attitude. Now I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
That's what we see. Type a 1 in the comments section if you see a lot of the same video clips that I see circulating. I share these shorts with you all the time where people are acting crazy. We kind of know who they vote for. They're not conservatives. We know that. Rude, crude, loud, and obnoxious. Thank you. Yes. So I'm not the only one that sees these clips. Mog, I bumped into a man in the women's bathroom. I wasn't off-putting, but he turned around and had a full beard out with his makeup and heels. Maga, this is my thing. If you're saying that you're a woman and you're using the women's bathroom, shave that hair. Why are you walking around with hair on your face? That is so odd and weird to me. Lord Jammer, conservatives any day of the week. Boom. I'm late. Which president put MLK? We're talking about, Sergeant King. President Trump removed the bust of Dr. King from the Oval Office, put it in a private dining room, and the leftists went bonkers. We told you he was racist. And you know, Sergeant, he made some changes to some websites, took some pictures down, and they're like, the new word they're using is erasure. He's trying to erase Black American history. That's the new lie. How you doing, Shura 7318? That's the lie they're spreading, because the Democrats are all about symbolism. They're not going to do anything for you, but they're gonna have symbols everywhere. That's all they're going to do. Nothing tangible. All right, here we go.
And if you try to stop me, I'm going to sue you. There are law firms all over this country that specialize in suing jokers.
That's it.
For the violation of civil rights. And I'm sitting there behind the desk and I see you come in my office and I got to compare you with this person or that person. You ain't going to get the job. You're going to always keep a job as a working in the fields, working in the kitchen, doing something that's at the bottom and menial labor, because those people will be the only ones that will have you. The people that achieve in America, and if you want a good concept and a good idea of what it is, you look at a football field. That's America. Social Darwinism. Strong survive.
That's it.
And they are respected and they're revered and they're lifted up on the shoulders of men. That's America. And Martin Luther King Jr. came here, and he was the first beta male in American history to ever become a hero.
Okay, sure. What are you talking about? What's a one-way rigged system? I don't know what you're telling me, honey. Chicago, we're all slaves. It never ended. Just the chains are different. Yeah, so right, the slaves were freed, and then of course Black Americans couldn't vote for a while. But when they could vote, the Democrats said, "Well, may as well vote for us," and put them right back on the plantation. MAGA, my husband went to college to be a mechanic. He's now a jet bridge technician at the airport that he's been working at for 28 years. Tech school is just as good as college. MAGA, I'm telling my students, we had a freshman program for incoming freshmen, and I was talking about technical schools today. Thank you. Tina, me too. Democrat crime syndicate. Yes. Oh, yes. Sure. Sherry, I think you're new here. Hit the like button, dear, and subscribe if you are enjoying this content. Well, the black women, along with the white women, had to fight together to vote, and they did. That didn't happen to 1919. Exactly, MAGA. Here we go.
Become lionized. He's the first joke in history besides Gandhi that got his butt whipped and had people say, "Now that there is a man."
So listen to what he's saying. So yeah, now this guy, how you doing, Lamont? Good evening. He doesn't like the method that Dr. King used, then of course, which was nonviolence. And Vince Ellison does not like what he used. So listen to this.
Change the definition of manhood about it ain't about how much butt you can whip. It's how you take a butt whipping. And a lot of men rejected it. And they've been wandering ever since because he told that lie about Christianity. Told the world the real manhood was allowing somebody to beat the hell out of you. And on top of all of that, it hasn't worked for the black community, but it's worked very well for the Democratic Party. Because you know what, y'all? That's the same slave mind that worked on the plantation. Do what the master say, lay down and get your ass whooped, and take it. And let all the rest of your people sit around and watch it happen. And the way that you get something from the master is not by standing up like a man and looking him in the eye, but by bowing to him and letting him beat you till he gets tired. And then based on his pity, not because he respects you, because he pities you. And then acquiesce, you're the man. And you walk around with your chest out like you've done something. Blood running all down your back, contusions and brain damage, like John Lewis walking around with brain damage. And all these civil rights leaders now, they walk around giving speeches about how they got their asses whooped and got spit on. And they ain't gonna walk up to a dude like me and think that I'm gonna applaud them for that. And they don't get anything from me except contempt, begging and crawling to get into spaces of other men who despise you. That's why Donald Trump moved him out and put Churchill in. Compare Churchill to King. No, we will fight them. We will kill them. We will never surrender.
So you would never hear this from the Democrats. So Lamont, sometimes you got to roll your sleeves up. Okay, Lamont is ready to go.
Why is it?
Lamont is ready to go. Oh my goodness, Sergeant King. Woo!
To him dreaming about not being judged by the color of his skin. Shoot, man. Went to Churchill. Tore Hitler up. Bombing Britain. Hitler said, well, hell, they ain't going to bomb Britain. Let's bomb Berlin.
That's right.
Sent the Royal Air Force up there to take on the Luftwaffe.
That's right.
And beat them down. Had the Americans come over. And from Great Britain, we launched the invasion of Germany. We launched D-Day from Great Britain because Churchill made sure that Great Britain was secure. While the rest of Europe had fallen, Great Britain was standing out there in the island nation by itself, with the English Channel separating it from the rest of Europe.
Anyone ever been in a boat on the English Channel? Because I have. So I've actually been in those waters myself. Winston Churchill was a great man, but like I said, Donald Trump can decorate the Oval Office any way he wants to. All presidents do. Tina, that's how I feel. But you know, since it's Trump, anything he does is under a magnifying glass, and God knows if someone black is involved, you know how that goes. And borrowing the one with the brain, a definite sense of fear for know the difference. It's just me or do not know that. No, the difference between a non-violent. Okay, all right. Well, they're spending millions on a MAGA building for John Lewis right now in Atlanta, but have homeless veterans under the bridge. Yeah, I saw something. I had an alert. Trump's doing something to help homeless veterans. Now that's something I could get behind. That's something. Since you're taking my tax dollars, that's something I don't mind. So you see you see the difference between the regimes. One regime, the Biden-Harris regime, nothing for Americans, only for non-citizens. Look at the difference. Okay, Maga.
And the Americans came over, and the British and the Americans launched an invasion across the English Channel. And that was D-Day. Winston Churchill stood up when all other European leaders had fallen.
CJ Parks, I actually crossed the English Channel and went to France as well. Not 4 times, but I did do it once. Okay. Right, Allie, I don't mind. If you're using my tax money to house homeless veterans, which I think that's what Trump is trying to do, I'm all for it.
When the English army was on the banks of Dunkirk and Hitler was coming, they were going to destroy him. And the British didn't even have enough of the Navy to come save those 300,000 men. And guess what Churchill did? He told the English people, said, go across the channel, go get those boys at Dunkirk and bring them back home to Great Britain. And he saved the whole army. And they lived to fight another day. And by the time Hitler got to Dunkirk, they were all gone. You see the movie Dunkirk, it talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Compare that to Martin Luther King Jr. Now look at Great Britain. He saved it.
Yeah.
Now Great Britain is gone woke. They're about to destroy itself unless somebody comes in.
Yeah, Great Britain is in a mess right now. MAGA, I would rather see our money go towards helping our people. And we know, yeah, MAGA, I don't have an issue with that. If you're going to take my tax money, fine, but spend it on Americans. And that's been my biggest issue. I cannot. Jason Schmidt, how you doing? The Germans let them go at Dunkirk. They had them surrounded. All right, Jason, how you doing, love? Hit that like button, please. And go ahead and subscribe. I think you may be subscribed already because I think you were here the other night. I hope you're enjoying the content, love. But yeah, it would take, I would have to do 2 or 3 videos to actually show you. Here we go. Here we go. Everything. Okay, thank you so much, Jason. Everything that he says, and again, it is painful. It is. But what are you gonna do, right? I wanted to share this because there was a lot said about this on social media, and I just wanted to, of course, hear your thoughts. Because they all had something negative to say, and it's not that big a deal. And I don't care about the names of buildings and bridges and sculptures and busts being moved. I don't care. That does not affect my life, and so I don't care. And again, I just wanted to share that with you, because all kinds of things have been said. The race hustlers Or every time he does something, they go out in full force. He smoked 8 to 10 cigars every day until his death. Yeah, he was like, I'm going to do it my way. So tell me what your thoughts are. And that's just where we are with that, folks. Tuskegee Airmen were proud, very relevant squad of brave men. Yes. I told you now, I'm an avid history person. I am. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. And let me see. There was something else I wanted to show you. And Trump needs to send out Lamont. Lamont said Martin sold us out. Yeah, more and more info is coming out. Lamont, I don't think you watched. I did a video. A lot of people did not know. Yeah, Margaret Sanger, she loved Dr. King. She gave him the Margaret Sanger Award. I did a video on that probably 1 or 2 years ago. And when I did that video, a lot of people were like, what? I didn't know that. I'm like, I didn't either, but I was reading and I heard, you hear something and you're like, let me check the research to make sure it's accurate. And it is. All right. And it is. So let me see. MAGA, yes, we have so many things that's wrong. Yes, Jason, she was pure evil. She believed in eugenics. The Nazis actually learned from Margaret Sanger. But she loved Dr. King because, again, we thought he was doing good. Okay, Lamont, I actually teach a component of eugenics. So, I taught about, the eugenics, forced sterilization in this country at one point. And so I know all about Margaret. Yes, I know all about her. So in your eyes, if you look at Dr. King's legacy, I don't want to say it's tarnished. Like I said, we have to take the good with the bad. Yes, Sergeant. Symbolize Woodrow Wilson supported eugenics. Yes, yes, yes. So if you look at the way things are compared to the way they were, and matter of fact, let me see if I can find one of those old black and white. I like to share things with you. Heck, I may have to mute it or play it really fast. I've seen it a few times about how the communists infiltrated the civil rights movement. And it's an old film. But hey, some hard truths that we have to deal with. So tell me what your thoughts are. Oh my God. And they're not long. Oh yeah, here it is. Yep. Let me see. Is this? Oh yeah, I found it. Okay. Now I may have, let me show you. So MAGA Tamara and some of the rest of you, Federal Reserve income taxes worldwide, we're still paying for President Wilson. Jason, yeah, taxes. We can't escape from them. Let me show you, and I'm like I said, I talked about this before. Let me pull this up for you. Hit the like button if you're enjoying this, and let me know what you think. Right, Sergeant. A lot of things are just coming out. MAGA, okay, got it. Oh, MAGA. What sprouted wings, MAGA? I must have missed it. You graduated in 94. Oh, yeah, yeah. Laurie, how you doing, love? There are your kitty cats. So let me see if I can put on the closed captioning. And let me see if I can speed this up. All right. Everyone still with me? Let's see.
Anarchy.
The title of this is Edward Griffin, Communism and the Civil Rights Movement. If you want, when I'm done with this video, I can share this link so you can watch it in its entirety, because it's way too long for me to play here, okay? But I'll play parts of it. I want you to hear some actual people talking.
The breakdown of law and order, a chaotic reign of terror, mob rule and rioting, the collapse of government authority. These phrases ring strange in the ears of Americans, and for good reason. Through the years, America has stood as the world symbol for law and order. Our government is responsive to the will of the people. Our courts and legislatures provide the mechanics for a peaceful redress of grievances. And the policeman on the corner has traditionally been looked upon as a friend, not as the instrument of a tyrant. Anarchy, well, that was something we read about in our newspapers that was always happening in other countries. Perhaps the people in other countries had just reasons to riot against their governments. After all, many of the nations of the world are dictatorships in one form.
Hold on. Let me see if I can actually get to the point where you can actually hear the people telling about it. And I've watched this more than once. But if you look, you see Dr. King, and it breaks down. Okay, okay. Do you want to watch, you all want to watch this or what? Type it in the comment section. Or do you want me to just find the parts where the people are talking about the communists and what the communists were telling them to do? Let me know while I play this.
And so it is in the United States. Mysterious bombings by assailants unknown plague the lives and property of the Negro people.
Hold on. And so, okay, listen to this man.
We're taught how to use propaganda, how to rouse the emotion of the masses. We learn how to set one group against the other and to make them hate each other. We learn to respect for having martyrs, and we're even told how to create our own martyrs. The plague didn't automatically result from the atmosphere of hatred.
Divide the people, then create the appearance of popular support.
If you watch this video, you would think that they made this like today. So yeah, that man right there was telling about what the communists were telling them to do. Yeah, thank you for your service, Alley Cat. How you doing, Gail? Yes, leave a link. Okay, you want to see it in its entirety. Okay, good. Robert, Miss Rowland, did you see where Kwasi Mfume sat in front of an ICE officer for illegals? I used to have respect. Yeah, you can't. He's part of the Black Bole, Robert. No, I saw his name somewhere and I kept scrolling. You're the teacher. We'll do whatever curriculum you see fit, Chicago. All right. So, like I said, listen to this. And it sounds like this is today.
And if any of the alert, informed citizens call attention to the true revolutionary goals behind the humanitarian slogans, move into phase 3 and neutralize the opposition. One effective way to neutralize any opposition is to liquidate it. In the summer of 1965, a respected Negro farmer in Alabama dared to speak out critically against the civil rights revolutionaries. In this cabin, in late August, 87-year-old Perry Smaw struggled with an assailant who said he had come to get Perry's tongue. The aged Negro's skull was crushed with a cast-iron frying pan, the attacker striking with such force that the skillet was broken. Then the intruder pulled Perry's tongue from his mouth and with a butcher knife cut it off all the way back to the old man's tonsils. Perry Smaw, the man who dared defy the conspirators, died 6 days later. In China, Cuba, and Algeria, terror was also a most effective weapon in intimidating and neutralizing the opposition. And there's another, even more widely used method of neutralizing and paralyzing opposition to communism's conquests.
Listen to that. You know Lenin. Okay, listen to this. We can and must write in a language which now sows among the masses hate, revulsion, and scorn toward those who disagree with us. Of course, that's communism, of course, from Lenin.
We can and must write in a language which sows among the masses hate, revulsion, and scorn toward those who disagree with us. Members and front organizations must continually embarrass, discredit, and degrade our critics. When obstructionists become too irritating, label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic. Constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough...
See that? Look at all these words. Now, you see how all this is old, but you would think they made this today. Look at the word. They're still using the same words. What were you blown away by? Allie, I'm missing so many comments. Jaggalo, glad I can catch even the end of your... Oh, thank you so much, Jaggalo. Hit the like button, folks. We're almost at 50 likes. Rolling besides the Cold War was going on. Yeah, you know, it was McCarthyism. There was a lot going on with the communists. They were doing the most. All right. So look at all the words. This film is old, but you would think it was today.
tradition become fact in the public mind.
By duping the American public into turning a deaf ear to the voices of warning because the topics were controversial or because the patriots themselves have been ridiculed as extremists, racists, fright peddlers, the conspirators were ready to move one step closer to their hidden goals by precipitating mob violence.
Sounds like the Democrats to me.
Riots, demonstrations, street battles, detachments of the Revolutionary Army. Such are the stages in the development of the popular uprising. The Communist Party will educate and organize the working masses for mass strikes and mass demonstrations. It is through struggles that the working masses are prepared for the final conflict for power. As these strikes grow in number and intensity, they acquire political character through unavoidable collision and open combat with the capitalistic state. Mass action culminates in insurrection and civil war.
You've been studying history, studying civics. So right now you got to put your history and your civics in the streets. You got to make the Constitution real. You got to make democracy real. Since 1960.
All right, who's that standing there talking now? Let's see who knows. Look closely.
Since February 1st, 1960, more than 50,000 your fellow students have been arrested and jailed, beaten, placed police source and water hoses. Before we see real freedom, before we be able to walk down these streets with a sense of dignity and with a sense of pride, and walk in freedom, so that there will be more jailings, more beating, more water hoses, more dogs.
The other thing is this: we are determined that this city will not celebrate its quadricentennial as a segregated city. If that's celebrated, we plan to use everything within our power and all of the nonviolent weapons at our disposal to dramatize this blatant injustice and to demand that the federal government not put a cent in this city unless it decides to face the realities of desegregation.
Oh, it was the person speaking before Dr. King, Laurie. Yes, Robert, I am too.
Right now, when Martin Luther King said march, we're going to have our marching shoes. And you know, they've kicked us around a long time, haven't they? And so many of us we've come up in life without any shoes at all. And if it becomes necessary for us to march without shoes, we'll march barefooted. I don't like the way you're clapping tonight. Are you ready to march? Are you ready to march? Then we are not afraid of dogs. Are we, children? So many of us, we were raised up with dogs. And we have had to live the life of dogs right here in the United States of America. I want you to raise your hand high tonight. Everybody that's ready to march, raise your hand high. Raise it high. Are you ready to march? Are you ready to march? If you're ready to march, I want you to raise both of your hands above your head. I want you to stand up on the feet. Get your hands high. Now bring them together and clap them together. Everybody vote. Everybody vote. Everybody.
And so, many were tricked into helping create the appearance of popular support for a conspiracy that hid its true objectives behind appealing slogans and humanitarian goals. A detachment of the deceived staged sit-ins. A handful of the hoaxed made freedom rides. A portion picketed and protested, while still others boycotted buses. And then more of the deluded mobs marched and demonstrated. As it was in Cuba, where the leaders of the humanistic revolution marched with arms locked in camaraderie, so it is in the United States, where the leaders of the...
Yes, that was Ralph Abernathy. So yeah, if you watch this, oh my God, this is so... And this was Russia's plan to continue to stoke the fires of racial hatred. And they did, again, they infiltrated the civil rights movement. 50s, 60s, who knew way back then? I cannot blame King for trying to stand again. Yeah, oh, Sergeant, yeah. And you know, yeah, again, we have to take the good that he did, like I was telling Maga and Alley Cat. So who knows if he really knew the full scope of what was going on. My mother grew up in Cuba and she left once Fidel came into power. Her brother, wife, and children ran away in the dark of night like the Von Trapp family. The government took their business and property. Yeah. All right, here we go.
In accomplishing the step-by-step objectives necessary for reaching that goal. In the United States, the communist plans call for two revolutions at once. A revolution of a supposedly oppressed proletariat or working class against a capitalistic system that is supposed to breed wage slavery, unemployment, poverty, crises, and war. The second revolution is a revolt of the supposedly poor and oppressed Negroes of the Black Belt against the supposed lynching, segregation, social ostracism, and exploitation of the white man. Currently, what the communists call their Negro Revolutionary Movement, now masquerading behind the humanitarian banners of civil rights, is contributing tremendous momentum to the communist plans to take over the United States.
See, they had a whole plan to take over the U.S., and they infiltrated again the civil rights movement. Yeah, he knew, what's his name? FBI director J. Edgar Hoover. That's why he was on him like flies around Fido. And again, now obviously back then they didn't have the internet. So do you feel that he knew the full scope, Florida? Segregation is silly no matter. Yeah, Maga, you're right. Caesar, yeah. Andrew Young was in there. Yeah. Sergeant, yeah, we have the internet and some people are still lost. Exactly. How many different names? Oh, Allie, yeah, there's a lot. So listen to this.
Divide the people. Get them fighting among themselves rather than their common enemy. Create the appearance of popular support. Through a favorable press and the use of terror, intimidation, and the creation of martyrs, make the world believe the revolution is a popular one, particularly among those being liberated. Neutralize the opposition. When obstructionists to the cause become too irritating, label them as fascist, Nazi, anti-Semitic, extremist, racist.
And think about the George Floyd riots and all. And this, if you watch this, it sounds like they just made this. Caesar, I agree with that. You're not born here and you're in the government. Oh, that's right for sabotage.
Controversial. Precipitate mob violence. Get the mobs into the streets. March and demonstrate. As the demonstrations grow in number and intensity, they will acquire political character through the desired.
Is this not what they did with the BLM movement and George Floyd riots? Yes, Jaggalo, that's what they were doing.
Collision and open combat with the forces of law and order. Since mass action culminates in insurrection and civil war, what of the fifth principle of the communist strategy? Create the semblance of revolution.
Let me see. Yeah, they had people in here. Let me see. So yeah, that's I don't want to play the whole thing. It's kind of long. I want you to sit down and watch it at your leisure. It's the same playbook, Maga.
Robert F. Williams, a fugitive wanted by the state of North Carolina and the Justice Department, broadcasts weekly revolutionary messages beamed into the United States from Cuba.
We shall take the torch of freedom and justice into the streets of America, and we shall set the landslide stronghold of Yankee imperialism ablaze without doubt lies of freedom. Freedom now or death.
Yes, Jaggalo.
A monthly newsletter published in Cuba and sent into the United States through Canada, the revolutionist Williams tells the Negroes of this nation, we must be willing to suffer jail. We must be willing to suffer death. We must be willing to kill for freedom.
There are Gestapo policemen on every street corner.
So let me see. Yeah, if you look at this is old, but it's telling. It's very telling. And like I said, I will I'll share the link with you once the live is over. And I'm going to do that right now so I don't forget. You know where to find it. It will be in the description box. Exactly what caused CJ Rhyme, Dorian, because you're a smart, bright. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, you see the title of it. But this, I would like for all of you to watch this, and then when we get together again, we can talk about it, because I want you to watch it in its entirety and see when we come back together if your thoughts have changed any as it relates to that. Like I said, I'm doing that now because I do not want to forget. All right. Yeah, I have this. Hit that like button. I think we're almost at 50 likes. And if you're not subscribed yet and you have been enjoying this channel, please do subscribe. We would be glad to have you here. The Rollins Reviews family. All right, I can't share it yet. Hold on, hold tight. Let me see. They're still running the same play. Yeah, they're not going to change because it's been so successful. They'll never change until people stop falling for the same banana in the tailpipe. They'll never change. Right? All right. So let me see if I can get this saved for you. And then I think we're done. We are done. But yeah, that's when I watched that, like I said, I've watched this in its entirety more than once. And I'm like, oh, wow. That's a lot. But what can we do? Their goals are always the same. Only new methods are added toward the destruction of human freedom. Rod Serling, 1960. Jason Schmidt, fun fact, I look at the original Rod Serling Twilight Zone series every day. I actually had the entire 46 video cassette series until everything started being streamed, and I just donated it to a Christian thrift store. That's how much I love the original Twilight Zone. Good night, Chicago Hood. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow, remember, is August 1st. So remember, Black Americans are supposed to be boycotting. Dorian, I'm not sure which words you're talking about. African places of business. So tell me what your thoughts are. And we will see what happens. Now I can save this for you. All right. Yeah, so check that out. And I probably won't have time to find. And there are a few more, but to me, this one was the most telling. All right. Chubbs. The Obsolete Man. Oh, man, I love The Obsolete Man. With Burgess Meredith. You are obsolete. Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry, Sergeant. I'm sorry about Friday's the 1st, right? My bad. So we'll have to do that Friday, but I may come on tomorrow depending on what happens. Roland. Yeah. That's okay, CJ. Yeah, that's how empires fall. No more licensed drivers. I was watching TikTok last. Taking the driver's license away. Lori, I'll have to check into that, dear. Oh, okay. Yeah, I enjoyed all of you. Extreme, far right, and others. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go. I hope Maga, you all right? You and Alley Cat. I may come on. What's tomorrow? Thursday. Yeah, I may come on tomorrow. Just depends on what's going on. And I enjoyed you all, and I hope that you're safe and life is good. Maga. Oh yeah, Maga. Don't feel bad, love. We take the good with the bad. And what can you do? And that's how I look at it, Yeah, a lot of people did die. Right, Maga, and that's all you can do, dear. That's it, right? So if I come on tomorrow, it'll be 6:30, right? And then we'll let me see how many likes. All right, yeah, we're over 50 likes. Pretty good. Yeah, so let me know what you think. And as always, please leave comments after I end the video. If I depending on what time you leave the comments, as you can see, I respond to all of your comments. Yeah, good night to you, Mayor. And hey, if I don't get you tonight, if you leave them later on, I'll get them in the morning. No problemos, but I will get them. So I enjoyed you all. Make sure Maga and Alley Cat, please make time to watch this video. It's in the description box. I just added that link because I want to know what your thoughts are once you watch that, okay? I'm coming to the comment section now to talk to all of you. Maga, I'll probably be on, okay, 6:30, yeah. Okay, Maga. Maga, will you watch? How you doing, Isaiah? Maga, do you think that you'll have time to watch that video? Because I want to know what your thought process is once you watch that, dear, okay? Lord Jammer, what about you? Can you watch it as well? So Alley Cat, Maga, and especially Lord Jammer, because I know we're all devastated, right? What can we do? Yes, we'll. Okay, Maga, yeah. Watch that, and then we can talk about that tomorrow. How about that? Yes, Alley Cat, you know we're sending you love too. Hit that like button, Isaiah. Thank you, love. So we'll go. And I'm coming to talk to you. I'll be there as long as you're there. I turned off regular TV the day the neighbors broke out. Okay. Thank you, Lord Jammer. Look at over, not over. Yeah, now if you Google it, it says that it fact check. It didn't happen. Who knows? Who knows? So I'm coming to talk to you right now. Don't forget, once the live stream ends, please, please, please leave a comment under the video and I'll respond. All right, I'm coming to talk to you now.